Continuing on in the Trump shooting analysis, everybody is wondering what is up with that ladder. Is that the shooter's ladder that we see perched up against the end of the building? How did he get up on that roof? And what's with all of the other ladders? It has caused such a ladder controversy, and we have conspiracy theories coming out of both directions here. We're going to take a deep dive into all of these ladders and build the timeline, and then we'll tell you which ladder was placed there when, and was it really the shooter's ladder? We'll also explain the number one question that we're getting from everybody, and that is, how did the shooter get his gun up on that roof? I have the answer for you. Well, first of all, the answer is pretty crystal clear, folks. How can anybody miss this? The gun comes apart in two pieces. So, of course, you can easily fit this into your backpack without it being seen. Like here it is in a small travel suitcase. Okay, so I just have a little icebreaker for you first. So we bought the Secret Service a gift, and here it is. Huh? What do you think of this? Great idea, isn't it? So these are the Ring stick-up cams, and I just got these last month on sale at Costco. If you saw my Costco Shop With Me tour that I did last month, I showed you when I got these, and they were like $80 off. So the Secret Service could have used these and planted them in strategic locations around the roof there and just monitored it from the app on their phone. Also, the Secret Service has appointed a new director of the Secret Service, and here he is here. And he's the perfect man for the job, too, isn't he? So if you know what movie this came from, let us know down in the comments below. I'm curious to know how many of you know where this came from. He's the perfect guy for the job.
Or am I being obtuse?
Okay, so let's take a look here at what's going on. This is what started the whole thing off, really, is this video. People were talking about this video because it's going to show you the ladder in a minute. And now this was probably taken about 2 hours after the Trump shooting, because you can see the cops have the area all blocked off and everything, and nobody's allowed up on the roof. And you can see the lights on there outside the door, so it's getting dusky. And so what I want to do is take a look at this scene, because there is what they're talking about. There is that ladder. And here is a close-up view of that mystery ladder that people think belongs to the shooter. So you can see this looks like about a 10-foot ladder because it goes to the top of this little roof, which I believe is 10 feet. And then the bottom of this roof here, where the shooter was here and there's his backpack, this was probably at about 11 or 12 feet. So there's their ladder. And let me show you something else.
Perimeter ended if this building...
See, so they're zooming in on it. And then... this is a pretty wide opening right here. People would walk by and see this because there was crowds of cops around here right around the time that the shooting was taking place. And you can't tell me they didn't see that big old ladder there, especially once they got up on the roof. They would have said, oh, hey, there's a ladder there. Why doesn't everybody just come over here and use this one? And we don't need to have somebody come running across the field and throw a black telescopic ladder over the fence. Let me just freeze frame it right here as it's looking at this angle. So here is the black telescopic ladder that the second group of police officers brought over, and they set it up right here so that they could jump up here onto this ledge and then onto the roof, and then they came over here to get onto the roof where the shooter was laying, and there's his backpack. There's the other ladder that we were just talking about a minute ago. About 2 minutes after the shooting, there were no ladders over here. The cops ordered these ladders to be brought over to them because there was no ladders anywhere for them to get up on. And they had grabbed this pallet, as I showed you in Dave Stewart's now famous film that everybody's been talking about since last week. So he was there. Dave was standing probably way back over here shooting this way, and he captured the police picking up this pallet and putting this pallet on top of this shed and trying to use it as a makeshift ladder. And presumably that is how the first 4 police officers got on top of the roof that we saw there on the roof in various photos and videos. See, and here's my proof of that, because when I look here at Dave Stewart's video, and I'm here at like the 7:18 mark into the video, you can see this officer right here is holding the pallet, and he's handing it to this officer here who's trying to put it on top of the shed. So I'll show you what I mean. The video was very shaky, of course, but I'll show you. See how he's handling it to him? And they're sticking it up there on top of that shed, and they're going to make a makeshift ladder out of it. I think that's all we got out of that one scene there. So based on the continuous recording of Dave Stewart's video, this appears to have all been happening at exactly 2 minutes and 30 seconds after the shooting started. And it was noted, of course, that one of them cut their hands climbing up here, so it might have been somewhere around here that an officer had cut his hands, and that may explain why there was some reports, unconfirmed, that there was blood found in the bathroom here in this building. So people were asking, well, why was there blood in a bathroom found? And that was likely because the officer might have gone in there to clean up afterwards. But anyway, you can see here, there's no other ladders anywhere. And right over here in the upper right-hand corner of the screen is where I proposed the other day that he got up on this air conditioner, then stood on this shed, and then jumped up here. And when you saw him running, this is where we saw him running in that video down here. So that video that was released last week from James Copenhaver, who was the witness who actually got shot by the shooter, captured him running along here, most likely, and then here, and then across the little bridge there, and then up to his final position here, where he shot straight off there. The other proposed thing that he could have done is he could have gotten up here onto the shed, onto the roof, run this way, and then was seen in the video running over here, and then coming down here. And the reason why he would have disappeared is, remember, this roof goes up, and then it goes back down. So if he's running up here and we see him running and then his head disappears, it's because he was running downhill and then jumped onto here and then started to shimmy his way up here and crawl along here. He was doing a bear crawl. Yeah, so they zoomed in really close on this ladder. Nobody is going to walk around with a 10-foot ladder without being seen. Okay, how do we know it's a 10-foot ladder? It's very simple. You know, in a commercial building, this has got to be 10 feet. But anyway, if you look at the ladder, starting at the top here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps that I can see on there at least. And these are usually a foot apart. So that should be 10 feet. Then we come over here to Home Depot and just grab a typical aluminum step ladder here. And we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that confirms that we have a 10-foot ladder there in that picture. So we know this is 10 feet, and it would be very difficult for the shooter to be walking around here anywhere with a 10-foot long ladder and not get noticed by anybody. Where is the proof then that this ladder was put there by the police? Because it wasn't there before the police got there. Okay, so now it looks like the first group number 1 of the first 4 or 5 cops, got up to the roof without the aid of a ladder about 3 to 4 minutes after the shooting. So let's see how the others got up there and when the other ladders appeared. To answer that question, we're going to view it from inside the rally area. Now, any second, you're going to hear the Secret Service say to move. So they're getting ready to move Trump out of the way now. So the shooting is still fresh, and you can see there's nobody up on the roof yet. So now you're going to start to see some of the officers start to run over here to the corner. And this is sort of that famous scene that I've showed you a few times where this police car is going to crash in this gate because they're having a hard time. Now, these 2 officers are able to climb over the top of the gate because there's a bar on it to give them support. But the other guys with all of their gear and everything, they're not going to be able to make it over there. And even especially that soft part of the fence where there's no bar on top. Now, they're turning the camera around here because everybody's pointing to where Corey Comparator is, right in that sloped part of the fence right there in front of you on the left on the rail that just disappeared. And then there they're showing Trump in the background as they're getting ready to carry him off the stage. So it shows you how fresh we are still into the shooting scene here. And the camera is then going to, after they move him, they're going to pan back and we're going to see what the officers are doing, and we're going to see who's on the roof. See, they're still pointing to where Corey is, and you got more officers are starting to come over here and converge in this spot so they can get past that corner of the gate that you see right there. And so what does this have to do with the ladders? You're going to see in a minute, because you're going to see officers come by with that black telescopic ladder. Until then, the cops are trying to figure out how are we going to get an easy pathway through there. And then the camera's panning back, showing the area there, and the rest of the cops are arriving. So here you're going to see that cop car turn around, and he's going to come in, and he doesn't seem to be very serious about trying to make a hole in that gate there, because he's going to ram it, and it's not going to do very much. So let's see what we've got here. There he goes. He just rammed it. And he's going to pull back now, and he's going to try to ram it again. And still didn't. He should have given it one more good thrust, I think would have pushed that gate out of the way. And here comes that SWAT officer running in from the right with that telescopic ladder. See, right there? And they're going to try to pass it through there to get it to the guys on the other side. And now they're going to run over, and there's another chain link fence on the AGR property that these guys have to deal with. And you can see that SWAT officer is going to throw it up and over the fence. Now watch very carefully. He's going to throw it up and over, and the Secret Service guy is there too. But just wait a second. You'll see him. I think he's right there. He's going to do it. Boom. There goes that ladder. And at this point in time, we're at about 4 minutes in. There's nobody up on the roof just yet. Other cops should be getting up on that roof like any second now. Meanwhile, these guys are still here trying to deal with this, and you'll see this couple come over, and the guy in the red shirt and the other girl, and so now we're seeing the 4 cops up on the roof. So everything's starting to tie into place here now. We're about 4 minutes in, and Group 1 is now up on the roof without the aid of a ladder. They climbed up the pallet. So once they set up this black telescopic ladder, the Secret Service agent, along with a couple of other officers, are going to be Group number 2 of the officers that ended up on the roof. Now with only one black ladder just in place over there. And actually, it was very dangerous for the police to have stuck that pallet on top of that flimsy plastic garden shed there. I'm sure that's not OSHA approved. So ladders are very dangerous in the wrong hands. Check this out. And then, of course, many of you have probably seen this video of the body cam worn by one of the SWAT officers. And this started at 6:26 p.m. So this is now about 14 minutes after the shooting. And the first 2 groups of police officers are up on the roof. And so by now, group number 2, which includes the Secret Service agent and some other officers, have likely climbed up that black telescopic ladder by now. And these guys are heading over with a medic. And I'll just speed this up 8x here until they get over to the AGR property. And you can confirm there's a few officers up there on top of the roof, and they're pointing to them.
We got hit. So I don't believe that.
You will.
You guys gonna fit?
I don't know.
We'll make it happen.
Hold on, Rich.
Go. Yeah.
I can get through there.
Yeah, we need 12 cutters.
Okay, now as they approach the building, they're going to meet that officer inside the room when they get up to the door, and he's going to tell them about the ladders. Because up until now, the only one that's up there is that black telescopic ladder. He's going to ask him about the ladders right here.
Operators are. I think they're on the roof.
Is that where the dude is too?
Yeah, he's up there too.
Do we have ladders anywhere?
So the ladders are en route.
Ladders are en route.
So the operators suffered lacerations to their hand from climbing up on the, and so like they might need minor stitching.
Okay.
He's going to tell them now how he got up.
Can't confirm life status on the mail, but let's get our operators take care of first. But ladder is coming. So how we got up, next corridor over.
Okay.
We're in this tight little. You'll see where the handprints on the blood is.
Behind 2 pine trees to pop a ladder up.
The suspect is directly above us.
So the ladder's gonna be coming over here?
Yeah, they're going to bring the backside.
So that corridor down there?
Yeah, it's right between the little pine trees.
Now the officers are about to walk by that bush area there, see? And that space in there, that's where everybody thinks the ladder is, but it's not set up there yet. There's no ladder back in there.
There's a ladder right here. Can we use this ladder?
Yes.
They spotted the black one down here, and they're pointing to the black one, and they're asking, can we use this one? So here's the pallet that Group 1 had put on top of that shed there and used that as a ladder originally. So they have reset it back down on top of the shed. And here is Group 3 now ascending the telescopic ladder. And even this still isn't safe. I don't understand why it had a little bit more length on the top. See that? You should never step on the top rung. Even those stickers there warn you about that. And it looks like it still had enough room to go up even higher. So I don't know why they didn't extend it up all the way.
If you're out in the crowd looking at the station.
So as they reach the roof, guess what? There's Group 2 Secret Service guy. And now they're heading over to where the shooter is. There's the police cars down below. And I'm going to freeze frame this here to show you something, because this is where the ladder should have been, right there on the left, leaning up against this little covered hallway. And there's the backpack in the background. So where's the ladder? What happened to it? That's because it wasn't there yet. The police brought in the ladder, and it's on its way over now. And then later on, from one of the body cameras, look, there's the view looking over that little hallway. No ladder in sight. There's your bushes. Plenty of room to see in between the bushes. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Jeff, you're trying to pull a fast one on us, okay? Because we know that that shooter bought a 5-foot ladder at Home Depot that morning, and we know he brought it there with him, and we know he used it, and we've seen it in photographs. You could see it in all sorts of news, video, blah, 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 blah. So a lot of people are just basically coming in here and lying. So what I did then, I went to Home Depot, and I said, let's find this 5-foot ladder. I want to see if I can find the same 5-foot ladder that the shooter would have bought at Home Depot. Okay, and then in terms of ladders that are close to 5 feet, I got 2 of them here. It's the only ones I found in this store. So here you got the Gorilla ladders. This one's aluminum, and this is 5.5 feet. And then Gorilla also has a yellow one. This is the fiberglass ladder, usually used by electricians. And so this is that ladder here. And this is probably undersized anyway for trying to get up on the roof anywhere along that AGR building up there by the Trump rally. So he probably realized even before he left his house that this was not going to be enough, and it doesn't buy him anything that he doesn't already have at the scene there, like for example air conditioners and sheds to step up on. See, and the problem though with this 5.5 foot ladder is that the maximum reach is 10 feet. And so we don't really know, if you put this up against the bottom of that building, how it's going to stack up there. Will it give you enough reach to climb up onto the roof? And I think the answer to that is no. This is not a suitable ladder for that purpose. Because I can tell you that just getting up to the top of my garage at home, onto the roof of my house, if I bring out my 8-foot ladder, I'm really struggling to climb up to the top there. And it's very unsafe climbing back down as well. Okay, so what I did then was I go to the Home Depot website and I pull up Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, which is the store that the shooter bought his ladder from, and just pull up 5-foot ladders there. And really the only ones that are actually 5 feet, these are all different. Some are 4 feet, some are 12. I mean, really, come on. I typed in 5 feet. The only ones I see are these first 2 here. So this one's 5.5 feet. This one's 4.5 feet. And let's see if there's any others that are... And then, of course, this one here that I showed you. And all the rest are not 5 feet. I mean, seriously, folks, really? A 5-foot ladder? What was he thinking? And then on July 29th, just a few days ago, the special agent in charge of the Pittsburgh field office for the FBI gave out this sort of a news release. I guess this was a letter. And in this letter, they're calling out incorrect reporting. And it says, regarding the subject's use of a ladder, the investigation has revealed the subject purchased a ladder at a hardware store the day of the attack. That same ladder was not present with the subject at the farm show grounds at the time of the shooting. Our investigation has revealed the ladder was left at a location near his home, approximately 50 miles away from the site of the rally in Butler. And to clarify, again, it was not used during the course of the attack on July 13th. He also says here, look at this, numerous media outlets have reported a bicycle and a backpack attributed to the subject, but the FBI's investigation has determined those do not belong to the shooter. Make sure you check out these other 2 videos that I've uploaded over the last couple of days here. These are the fresh new videos for you to check out. If you haven't been here on this channel, you want to binge watch those. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.